Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're a software tester, you know the drill. Your job is to find those pesky bugs before the users do. But what if I told you the most critical bugs aren't even on the screen? Yeah, let's dive into that, because today we're talking about SQL, the one skill that can absolutely transform your career in testing.
Just picture this for a second. You're testing a brand new registration form. You fill it all out, you hit submit, and this beautiful success message pops up. The user interface, it's flawless. But is the data okay? How do you really know, for sure, that what you typed in was saved correctly and completely without any hidden errors?
And this right here leads us to what I like to call the tester's blind spot. It's that invisible layer, the one between what the user is seeing on the front end and what's actually happening in the back end. And trust me, this is where the nastiest bugs love to hide.
That success message, it's really just the application telling you it thinks everything went okay. But the real source of truth, the system's actual memory, is the database. If you don't have a way to peek inside, you're pretty much testing with one eye closed. You're just hoping the application isn't quietly messing up the data underneath it all.
So how do we get past that pretty success message and see what's really going on? Well, this is where you pull out your secret weapon, SQL. It's the key that unlocks the database and lets you see exactly what's happening behind the curtain.
Now don't let the full name intimidate you. Structured query language sounds complicated, but at its heart, SQL is just the standard language we all use to talk to databases. If you need to store data, find data, or change data, you speak to the database using SQL. Simple as that.
Let's break it down with an analogy. Think of a giant library. That's your database. It's this huge, really organized collection of information. And the books on all the shelves? Those are your tables. Each table holds all the information about one specific thing, like all your users or all your products.
And this is how those books are laid out. Every table is organized into columns and rows. The columns are kind of like the chapter titles in a book. They tell you what kind of information you're looking at, like a user ID, a username, or an email. The rows? Those are the actual entries, the individual records. So one row is one specific user or one specific product.
Okay, so what can we actually do with SQL? Well, we can perform the 4 most important actions in data management, and you can remember them with the acronym CRUD. It stands for Create, Read, Update, and Delete. As a tester, it's literally your job to make sure all 4 of these operations work exactly as they should.
And you can see right here how the SQL commands map perfectly to those CRUD operations. To read data, you use select. To create new data, you use insert. To change it, you use update. And to get rid of it, you use delete. These 4 commands, they are the absolute bedrock of database testing. All right, let's see how this actually works. We're going to start with the single most common, most powerful command you're going to use pretty much every single day to ask the database the right questions. Seriously, if you only learn one command, make it select. This is your main tool for finding things out. It's how you ask the database, hey, show me the user who just signed up, or tell me how many products we have left in stock. It is the absolute cornerstone of validating data. And you can get really specific with your questions. Check this out. With this query using group by and having, we're basically telling the database, group all the customers together by their email, and then please show me any email that shows up more than once. Boom. With one simple query, you can find a major bug and validate a super important business rule, like making sure every user has a unique email. But what if you don't want to see all the data? You can just add a where clause to your select statement. Think of it like a filter. It lets you get really specific, like show me users where the username is John Doe, or show me products where the price is over $100. It lets you zero in on the exact thing you're testing.
Of course, in the real world, data is rarely all in one place. You have customers linked to orders and orders linked to products. To test these relationships, we need a way to connect all the dots between our different tables. So the links that hold this whole web of data together are called keys. A primary key is a totally unique ID for a record in a table, like a customer ID. Then a foreign key is a field in one table that points back to the primary key in another table. It's the glue that creates all these important relationships. You can think of this diagram as a map of our database. See, we've got the customers table, the orders table, and the products table. And those little lines connecting them, those show the relationships that are built on those primary and foreign keys. For example, that customer ID in the orders table links an order directly back to a specific customer.
So, how do we follow that map with our code? We use a join. This query right here shows how you can get a customer's name and all their order details in one single result. The inner join command tells the database to follow that link between the customer and order tables using their shared ID, and it combines the information for you. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, this is all really powerful stuff, but how does it actually fit into what you do every day? Whether you're a manual tester or you're writing automation, let's break it down.
The process is actually super simple, and it works for any kind of testing. Step 1, you perform an action in the app, maybe click a button or make an API call. Step 2, you write and run an SQL query to check the database. And Step 3, you validate that what you see in the database is exactly what you expected to see. That's it.
So for a manual tester, that means after you change a user's email on the website, you pop over to your database tool and run a quick select query to prove the change happened. For an SDET, a software development engineer and test, you'd actually put that same query right inside your automation script and write an assertion to automatically check the data, failing the test if anything is off.
And here's what that actually looks like in the code. This automated test is checking how many orders with the status shipped a certain user has. It runs a select count query, gets the number, and then asserts that the result is 1. This is so much more reliable than just trusting what the UI tells you.
So why does all this matter for you and your career? Because learning SQL means you will find critical bugs that testers who only look at the UI will always miss. You get to go beyond the surface and check the application's source of truth. This makes you a way more effective, more thorough, and more valuable tester on any team.
Ultimately, learning SQL is about a shift in your mindset. You stop being someone who just checks if things look right on the screen. You become someone who verifies that things are right, all the way down to the data itself. You're validating the very foundation of the entire application. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you have the key to unlock the database, now that you can see behind the curtain, what's the first critical bug hiding in the data that you're going to go find?